Good afternoon. I'm Halstrom, and I work with energy codes for commercial buildings. In the next few minutes, I'd like to spend a little bit of time just briefly explaining what ASHRAE is, the relationship between the IECC and ASHRAE 90.1 standards, and a little bit of what's happening over in sister state Kentucky, which just adopted the IECC last year. Briefly, ASHRAE is a professional society of about 52,000 building professionals that work with architects to design your commercial and industrial buildings. A key function of ASHRAE is to create standards, specifically ASHRAE 90.1. It is the premier code-intended energy standard for commercial buildings. It was co-developed with the lighting electrical engineers, and it's a consensus standard, which means it's been peer validated as cost-effective. The energy savings have been verified by DOE. There's two major building types, residential and commercial. Residential may get a lot of attention because, frankly, there's a whole lot of it. But commercial buildings are more complex and nationwide. They use about as much new energy as residential buildings. Now, the IECC 2009 allows designers two compliance paths for commercial buildings. You can use the IEC standard or ASHRAE 90.1. Designers can choose to use whichever one they're more comfortable with. I've taught both standards. They are very similar in content, and the end result is similar. So why is ICC and 90.1 adopted by so many states? Simple. They offer true energy reductions, they can be designed, and they can be verified by a trained code inspector. Energy requirements, as it pointed out, represents the minimum requirements for a building. They help promote change by, frankly, moving those laggards to a more efficient building. The leaders can do much better if they want to make the investment. For example, in Kentucky recently, a publicly funded K-12 school was just opened and is operating at near net zero energy. It uses no off-site fuel or energy over the course of the year. Now, while these building types are very rare today, the innovators are starting to show us that it can be done. The red line here represents the average annual energy use per square foot for a West Virginia code-compliant commercial building today. A 90.1 2001 building. 3 years later, 2004, that building would use 13.9% less per code. In the 2007 standard, which is the IECC 2009, it uses additional 3.7% less. These energy reductions are not made up. They've been verified by DOE. In the future, the approved 90.1 2010 reduces energy use by about 27%. The next reduction goal is 20% on the commercial side. This is simple fuel efficiency. Using the latest standards, buildings can use 40 to 50% less energy. It's like doubling the fuel mileage on your car or your truck. Nationwide, 82% of the states and territories with statewide energy codes have adopted IECC 2009. Code adoption with code training helps acceptance, understanding, and enforcement. Commercial code compliance for both standards, IECC and ASHRAE, uses a DOE-developed form called ComCheck. It is filled out and submitted with the request for the building permit. ComCheck has a red and a green light function that tells if the building envelope and the lighting meet code. The mechanical section lists the equipment efficiencies and controls. The widely used ComCheck can create also checklists for the local code inspectors to use as the building is being constructed or renovated. My last point, training. Let me share a best practice from Kentucky. Early last year, they adopted the commercial IECC 2009. To help with implementation, the state of Kentucky contracted with the University of Kentucky and E.D. Hall to offer 14 classes around the state for local code officials, architects, and engineers. Both ASHRAE Kentucky and ASHRAE AIA Kentucky supported the training with newsletters and PDH credits. Over 400 architects, engineers, and code officials attended to learn the design requirements and the required inspections needed to meet the energy codes. They also, frankly, learned how to sell to the owner the benefits of meeting the new energy standards. The result, greater acceptance and less resistance to change. Thank you.